Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. As ever, you can find me over on Instagram at the House of Langford and at Overall Sews. I'm also on Ravelry at Mad X Stitcher. We're now in July, which means it's time for another monthly roundup of June. And I think this is my second June now. Yes, I'm coming up to 2 years as of September. So last month I set a little giveaway challenge, I guess, for the comments, so I will check through those in a moment and announce a winner towards the end of the podcast. But let's start with a little bit of a confession. I've not actually finished anything that I can show you this month. I have finished the test crochet that I was doing for Sophie Swan of A Spring Snowflake, which is for the June Cozy Box by Gemma at the Midnight Diary, but they haven't shipped as yet, so I don't want to spoil the surprise and show the pattern off. So I have finished it. It has been blocked. I think I have one end to weave in and then it is done, and I need to take photographs, so that is one thing off of my list anyway for this month. So that was at the top of my list actually for June plans. Other plans were to complete part 6 of Sophie's Universe blanket. Didn't touch it. Another one was to, just checking my notes, work on the 3rd Briar Rose blanket that I have been doing in the 70s style colours. Didn't touch that either. I did take it with me though one day. I put it in a bag and took it with me when I went somewhere and still didn't work on it. So, oh well. What I can tell you though is that my time this month has been spent cross-stitching on one thing only. I have done some crochet, which I can show you, but it's not a finished item. And yeah, just because I've been getting home from work, it's been really tiring, so all I've been doing when I get home is wanting to sleep, or I'm spending hours at work trying to prepare for the next day, and yeah, not an awful lot of time to actually work on something. And I felt really bad because I wanted to show you something finished and I can't. So anyway, let's crack on with what I can show you, shall we? So like I said, I've been working on my cross stitch. I have been working on the Mighty Samurai, and therefore working on my 100-day project. So I'm currently up to day 87. Now obviously I started the 1st of March, so my 100 days should have been up by now. However, things get in the way and I'm just continuing it in my own way really. So yeah. I know that it's not going to be done in 100 days. I've got 13 more hours as such to work on it. But I'm hoping in that time I can finish the bottom half and scroll up to the second half, and I'm halfway there. So what I'm actually going to do is continue after the 100 days and go into up to 200 days. So we'll see how that goes. The plan is to see if I can get it finished before the end of this year. So these podcasts may become more of a floss tube as to what I'm actually doing, because I'm only trying to spend an hour a day on this project, and if I'm not doing it during the week, I'm spending 3 or 4 hours on a weekend working on it. So I am putting in time, and that's the main thing for me, is just to make sure I'm seeing progress all the time. I have, however, done a little bit wrong, and I was getting really frustrated. I did, I think, 3 or 4 bits wrong more than once. Excuse the sniffling. I appear to have hay fever or a summer cold, and it's just kicked into full gear as of Friday. So yeah, I'm on hay fever tablets and Lemsip. Fun. So here is the current progress. I will pop up a picture of what it was last month, just so you can see a side-by-side comparison. But I have now finished the peacock. So all of this has been done. It's outlined. I've done the tail, and that is also outlined. and I am now working on the groundwork, and he's got 2 feet to put in as well. I have as always got my stitch, my needle keeper from Emily Cross Ceramics, and I also have, if you've noticed this one, this is the one I won from the Lazy Stitcher over in Canada. So that's a nice little mermaid towel on there. So at some point I am now working with 2 needles, because I'm threading one up and then working with one and threading the other one up, waiting to work on the next one. So it's coming on quite well. There is more to go down though, so I am going to need to scroll down again before I can finish the bottom half. I thought I could fit it in, but I haven't scrolled enough. So yeah, there is a bit more groundwork to go across the bottom. So that is the Mighty Samurai at the moment. Yeah, there's a lot of hours have gone into this. I started this on day 24 of my 100-day project after finishing the big cats on day 24, and I'm now up to 87, so I've done 63 hours on this. Yeah, I have actually started to fill in some of the dragonfly wings as well, because I had a bit of colour left over from when I was doing the peacock, so I've just been adding to them when I'm using that colour basically. And yeah, I've got 13 hours left on my 100 days, so I'm hoping I can finish the bottom, add whatever I need to add in for the dragonflies, and then move the whole thing up. So I'm working at the top half of the samurai himself and the tree in the background. So wish me luck, I guess, for a Christmas finish. My aunt and uncle are over this weekend, so I'm going to take it with me to show them, because it actually belongs to them. So that is my 100-day project. Whip number 1 for this month. So this is what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. Just so you can see where I'm actually going. So I do have a little bit more down here, and then I'm obviously only here, and I haven't actually done his sword yet either. So I'm going to have to fill in, I'll fill that bit in, I think, once I start working upwards. So I've got the fan to finish, and then I can move up to the top. And actually it looks like there's a lot more stitching in the top. So we'll see. So that's it for cross stitch. Time to move on to crochet. Now we had a little bit of a heat wave in that we had some really hot days. I think it was half term maybe, and I decided that that was the time to work on a cotton Aran temperature blanket, which is double bed size already. So I've been working on my temperature blanket. I've added, I think, 14 rows. I will have to check my book, but this thing is now enormous. It's really thick. I've got 5 months left on it. I have now finished February's colours. So this stitch marker is where I last showed it on the podcast. I don't remember when. So that's when I last showed it, and I had only done up to this marker between the last time I showed it and when I started working on it this month. And then I have finished that month. So I've managed to have lost some stitches, I think, at the end. I've clearly not gone into the chain stitches I've done, so it is now starting to dip down, but I'll try and square it off. I'm going to have to put border on it because it's going to annoy me otherwise. But yeah, I've added a lot of green for the month of February. So let's find the book. So all my notes have been in this little book. Yeah, I have March, April, May, June and July left to do. And I may well run out of yarn, but I am just going to substitute because I don't know if I can get any more. So I am randomly using, originally, if you've seen the saga of this blanket, I originally started using Oxford Eco Cotton, which I got from Lolly's Little Wool Shack, and I got a bundle, so it was 10 balls of yarn, 10 colours, and it was labelled as a temperature blanket. So I thought, oh, that's fine, that'll do. And then I cast on so many 100 stitches and realised that one ball of each colour is not going to be enough for a year. So I then had to find more, and some of the colours I could not get. So I then spent a couple of months looking for alternatives. I've ended up with some Scheepjes yarn in here and some Rico Creative Cotton. All are cotton Aran, so they should be okay. And it's lovely and thick. It's going to be really nice and warm to use in the winter. My aim is to try and get it finished for Stash, which I think I mentioned last month. Because there's a lot of yardage in this, I think it worked out at, I did the maths for each ball of yarn, and I think it's the same, it looks to be the same amount of yardage for the same amount of meterage. Same amount, yardage and meterage, same amount of weight for meters. So I should be able to just weigh it and then times it, and that will give me a total. So for each 100 grams, I was getting 10 rows from a ball. So there's quite a lot of yarn here, which is why it's really heavy. But I will persevere. Like, yeah. I'm just waiting to get back to the summery colours because it was a bit cold at the beginning of 2019. And then it got really hot, which is probably why I didn't work on it. There we go. So yes, that is my temperature blanket. And I will put in photos eventually when it's finished, because I think it's just going to double the size now. I'm just over halfway through. So we shall see. Yeah, if there's a cold night, then I'll just whack some more rows in it. But we'll see. So yeah, Aran cotton temperature blanket, which is huge. And I've been trying to work on it whilst it's nice and warm. So yeah, I'm a bit silly really. Oh well. So the last thing that I have been working on this month is the test crochet piece, but I can't show you. I will put a link down below for the next, so the slots are now open for the next cozy box, so I've ordered that one as well. I'm really looking forward to receiving the June box, and I also, Gemma was lovely enough to allow me to order a previous box as well, even though I'd missed the deadline. So I'll be getting 2 boxes at the same time. But yay! So that brings us on quite nicely to what I have acquired for this month. For anyone who was doing a drinking game for Perth, there's a few mentions of that. So Eva at the Perth Festival of Yarn has put together the monthly collab club. So I have got the yarn for that for this month. And I have also got yarn to show you from the monthly markets. So each month there is one skein of yarn which has been dyed specifically for the monthly collab club. It is specifically for Perth Festival of Yarn. I don't think it's going to be shown anywhere else. I think it's purely a one-off thing. So you're able to go onto the website and pre-order that, and then it gets delivered the next month. So you're ordering a month in advance. The other thing is that once a month, at the end of the month, there is a monthly market. And again, it's all exclusives to the Perth Festival of Yarn, but this time you're able to get them all year round, but just once a month. So one weekend a month. So I have 2 months worth to show you. One of them I haven't even opened. I've just put it in the bag ready to show you here. So surprises for me as well. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the May monthly market. So I got 2 skeins of DK yarn. Honestly, I want them all, and I'm hoping that there's going to be a few left over each month. So I'm getting DK because I want to try and put at least some of it all together. So I have Cherrybank Gardens from Quack Yarns. It is 100% superwash blue-faced Leicester in DK. 100 grams is approximately 225 meters. And I just love all of the colours in there. So there's that one. The other one is Bumbling Yarns, which is by the lovely Laura of craftersbalm.co.uk, who is also the Lonely Knitter. So this is 100 gram DK, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It is called Red Head in the Festival Sweater. So we've got the flecks of red in the top here, and we've got this gorgeous blue teal colour for the sweater. So they are really nice. I love these. I'm really hoping they're all going to go together nicely in one project. I'm at that point now where I'm still just buying yarn because I like it, not because I have an idea in mind. So yeah, that's fun. It means I get a lot of yarn, but I don't know what to do about. So I have those two. So they arrived just at the beginning of June, which is why they weren't in the May video. This one I haven't opened yet, so let's get this open. And I'm trying to remember what I ordered for the June monthly market. Yes, that is what I remembered. So we have another two skeins. I find it easy just to work in twos. So I have one skein from Blue Dot Yarn, which is Moncrief Hill, 100% superwash merino DK, 200 meters for 100 grams. This is, it's not a colorway that I usually buy, but I really like the different tones of the greens mixed in with the undyed cream yarn, and there's some greys in there as well. So that is Blue Dot Yarn. And then this one is by, it says Weiku Yarn, I think that's how you pronounce it, W-E-K-U. Again with the undyed, but there's patches in there of the reds, purples, oranges. And I think actually the two go quite nicely as a contrast between the speckles, because the base is very similar in colour. So this one is called Yemi Yu, I think, which means sister. Merino DK 100% superwash merino, 225 meters for 100 grams. So yeah, I have my two monthly market skeins for June and two monthly market skeins for May. Again, I'll put all the details down below for you if you want to go and grab your own. As I said, the monthly market is open once a month, and it is towards the end of the month. So I'm going to go and do a reel of those yarns. I'm trying to do a reel on Instagram for each of the bits I get from either the monthly market or the monthly collab club, just to see, just because I started it in the January and now I need to keep going in the February, and I'm really enjoying doing it, and they're getting loads of hits, so I'm hoping it's helping to boost the Perth Festival yarn, because it has been a very difficult year or so in terms of not having the festival actually happen in person. So this is kind of my extra little contribution to try and get them seen a bit more and hopefully get them some more sales too. So as I mentioned, those were both the monthly market skeins that I bought, which you can get direct from the Perth Festival of Yarn website. And I also got this month's collab club, which is by Needle and Thread. I just love this cute little logo with the sheep. It's really sweet. So I got, I think this is to do with the sweater as well. So A New Hope, which kind of reminds me of Star Wars, but with the teals and blues, but I really love it. I just love it. Look at all of that. It's so pretty. And there's some speckles in there. So that is called A New Hope. It is 100 grams of DK, 100% merino wool, 225 meters. So yeah, superwash yarn. So there's that one. And with every collab club yarn, you also get a badge from Eris Apple over on Instagram, and this month is obviously Needle and Thread, so it has part of the logo, which is just there at the bottom. The little cat ears, they're so cute. So that is this month's monthly collab club. I have now decided they are going into a jumper, not a blanket. I want to be able to wear all of this gorgeous yarn, and regardless of whether they are slightly different or not, I think actually it would just be really nice to work with them all together in one project, and something I can use more often than just a blanket. I've got a couple of blankets now. I don't really need any more, but I'm still going to talk to you about another one that I'm planning on starting. Oh well. Right, so on top of that, each month I get the monthly mini skein club, which is by Vicky Brown, and every month I forget to actually open the box before I show you. So let's try and get that open. You will also notice I've had my nails done. My sister is practicing. She started a course a good few years ago, I think, but now she's actually started to do some more. There we go. Right, it's open. So this month's mini skeins, or June's mini skeins. Oh, I like that one. They kind of go from purple into a nice pink. So I've now decided, I think, that I'm going to just do a simple ripple blanket with these, or the granny ripple, and just go month by month. So I need to work out how wide it's going to be. So that is going to be a blanket, because I think they just work really nicely. I had toyed with the idea of making a sweater with these as well. However, it's going to be quite an expensive sweater, because there's a lot of them, and I want to try and keep them in order as well. So it could still become a sweater, but I don't know. Oh, it's really weird. I just don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. Just don't know. It could be a sweater, it could be a blanket. I guess we'll find out soon. I'm now at a point where I've gone a whole year for the mini skein club. So I've got 12 boxes, so 50 grams per, is it 50 grams? Are they 20 grams or 10 gram minis? 10 gram minis, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 grams per box. So 50 times 12, 240 grams. Is that all? Yeah, 240 grams. They might even become the Battenberg, because then I can just make squares. Maybe it'll be that one. We shall see. I forgot to show you something last month. Sophie from A Spring Snowflake had a little de-stash over on Instagram, and I bought lots and lots of mini balls. So I've got a couple of mini skeins. This is so pretty. I've got a skein that I got from Vicky Brown for her 100. Yeah, make 100. And she sent me an extra mini, so I think that might go with that, because it's quite nice. I'm hoping it'll match. But I think this one came as a set, so I'm just now remembering what I actually ordered. I've got a couple of bags of mini balls, and I've got a set of mini skates. Sorry for the rustling. So this is part of a set. This is the set. They are just so pretty. I love all of the colours. I think they're actually 4-ply. Look at all of them. They're so pretty. So they are going to have to go in something. The idea, I think, my idea behind all of these was that I should be able to get a Battenberg square from my mini ball. So I think those are all 10 gram mini skeins in the 4-ply. So it's going to be quite a lightweight blanket, actually. And then I think these are all 5 gram balls. So I'll show you a few. All different 5-gram balls of yarn. I can't hold them all up, but look. So I have this little bag. There's one at the bottom as well. There is. Which I've now dropped. And I've dropped another one. Oh no. That's one little bag. There are 10 mini balls. They are all different. Slightly different. Some are slightly different in colour. Some are completely different in colour. So there are 10 mini balls there. And then I got another set, which again is another 10. These ones are quite bright though. These are a lot different to the other ones. So again, another 10. And we can see I've got some neons in there as well. So the idea is that I think I can get a mini square from each ball. I don't think I'll get 2 from each one. But then I'll put the rest into like a scrappy blanket. So thank you, Sophie. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how they all work together. So I feel like I need to get some 4-ply now that's just plain, so I can do the alternating squares in one colour. So we'll see. But yeah, I have some minis from Sophie's D-Stash. Again, I'll put the details down below for you. Okay, so the last things I have to show you are from a small trip to Faversham. If you have seen Gemma over at the Midnight Diary, you will know that she is the manager for a yarn shop in Faversham called the Yarn Dispensary, and they also have their own YouTube channel. So again, I'll put the link down below for you for that, because it's just so funny. Everyone there is absolutely lovely. They're super helpful as well when you go into the store. It took me just under an hour to get there because I'm actually north side of the Thames and they are south side of the Thames, but that didn't matter. I took my dad, he went into charity shops, found more puzzles, as he does. And yeah, we had just had a really nice time out really for a few hours in Faversham. So I went in and I bought some bits and bobs from the yarn dispensary and then went into the fabric shop next door. So first off, I got a couple of skeins of yarn. Now I was trying to find a skein of yarn that would go with the one I was working with on the test crochet piece, which is a skein by For the Love of Yarn, which is kind of, it's white as a base, but it's got flecks of purple, pink, blues. It's called Dancing Ribbons, which was dyed by one of her cherubs. So we did find this one to go with it, which is called Wisteria. It is the standard sock weight yarn, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So 425 meters per 100 grams. So this is by Truly Hooked. And I just thought that maybe it would pick up the pops of the pink and the darker purples with a pale purple as the base. What I ended up using to finishing it off, because I used a mini, which I got from Affis Yarns. The reason I needed more is because the skein I had from For the Love of Yarn is only 400 meters, not 425 meters. So I knew going into that test crochet that I would need a little bit more. So I added Cherry Blossom from Affis Yarns, which I believe I showed you a couple of months ago when she did her initial debut opening of her shop. But yes, I picked this one up anyway. It is beautiful. It's going to be a shawl at some point. Whilst I was there, I could not resist this utterly gorgeous bright yellow skein of yarn. And Roz, who was at the shop at the time, said that she actually made some socks using this yarn, and they always get compliments. So it is not blowing out. It is actually bright yellow. It's a little bit paler on the screen from what I can see, but it is bright yellow. It is called Arctic Fox. It's 100 grams of merino nylon sock. And again, this one is 400 meters by For the Love of Yarn. I just love it. I love the pops of the oranges, the reds, the slightly browns. There's some speckling in there of the black. No idea what it's going to be, but it is summer wrapped up in a skein for me. That is summer. Bright, bright yellow. I just love looking at it. Honestly, if you can give me some patterns as to what I can do with 400 meters of sock weight yarn that is bright yellow, maybe like a sunshine shawl or something, we'll see. So yeah, I love that. And actually, they don't look too bad together. So those are the two main skeins of yarn I got from there. So one of my reasons was I needed a skein or something to go with the shawl that I was working on. Hence the purple. However, I had another reason for going there as well. One of the Crochet Society boxes had roving yarn in it, which is West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat yarn. But the box yarn, I was expecting slightly different colours. I think you only got one ball of the pink. It's like a dusty rose colour to do the patterns. And I felt that actually it needed a bright yellow, but they didn't have a bright yellow at the yarn dispensary. So what I got in the end was this one. And this one looks red on the screen, but it's actually a very like deep pink, like lipstick pink, I guess. Kind of like lipstick red, but not red. I don't see that as red. I see that more of a dark pink. This is called Adore. It is West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat yarn, which is roving. It is 100% blue-faced Kerry Hill. So you get 140 meters per 100 grams of yarn. There is a pattern in the box for the Crochet Society box, which has like a heart shape in the middle. It is another wall hanging. I've already got one there. I did make another one a couple of months ago, which still hasn't gone on the doweling rod, but there we go. So yeah, it is another wall hanging, but what I want to do, it's got a heart shape in the middle, and I want to do the heart shape in this colour so that it stands out from the rest of the background, because it's a slightly different texture as well. It's a new technique I've not done in crochet yet, so that's going to be really interesting to work up with. So yeah, bought another ball of Retreat. As soon as the bright yellow comes out though, I'm having that as well. Seem to be on a bright kick at the moment. I really like the bright colours. Maybe we're just getting excited for the summer at the moment. Don't know. So yeah, it's in a bag ready to go in the freezer as well, because I don't want any more moths in my yarn. So as I said, I went with my dad to Faversham and did pop into the fabric shop next door as well. I picked up, not very much actually, to be honest. I picked up one pack of fat quarters and one pack of tapestry cross stitch needles, because even though I bought a pack of 100 needles from Amazon, can't find them. Can't remember where I put them. I did buy 2 packs, one for me and one for a friend. I can't find where I put my one, so I will find them at some point. And I figured if I bought more needles, maybe I'd find them. But that's not the case as yet. So I just bought a quick pack of size 26 tapestry cross-stitch needles. They were £2, which isn't actually bad for a pack of needles. So I can use those for my next project. And then I bought a pack of fat quarters, which are... let's just show you and you'll see why I bought them. Yeah, so I bought them. They are they've got like an origami feel to them for me, and like a Chinese inspired print. It's actually called Chinese Panda. You get 5 fat quarters in there, and they are 100% cotton. So haven't actually looked at them, but like I couldn't resist. It's got pandas on it. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to have to make something with that just for me. I love pandas, don't I? So I bought this pack purely for that piece of fabric. But This one's really nice. This one goes, these all go with it, so they're all complementary. We've got like a mosaic-y print there, which I think is meant to reflect the sliding doors that they have. Then there's also a green floral. There is a black sort of geometric pattern. I'm not sure if that's going to show up on the screen very well. And then the last one is what looks like a quilted piece using all of the different prints, which I think is really cool. Quite like the honeycomb as well, but I didn't see that one. So I bought those. They are all going to go into a project of some sort, possibly together. But I had to get it for the panda. Just the panda. Do love a cheeky panda. So yeah, that was my little trip to Faversham. It's a really, really lovely old town, and I think if we could have spent more time there, we would have. I do know that my parents did go back to Faversham for a day out, just the two of them, which was really nice. So yeah, definitely somewhere I'm going to return to. So yeah, that was my little trip to Faversham. We did come home with quite a few puzzles as well, thanks to Dad. And we had a little bag of chips and a couple of little battered sausages as well, just to end our little trip there. So that was quite nice. That was half term. Didn't do much else over half term. I think I may have just moved the furniture around though. You'll notice we're in a different setup today. I've basically moved the table, swapped the table for the sofa, so it's a bit more comfortable for me to sit in. But it also means I don't have to move the TV around anymore if you're sitting on the sofa or either sofa, because my one is literally there. You can both see the TV properly without having to like lean or squint. But yeah, also it gives us just a teeny tiny bit more room on the floor as well, and we can actually, two people can sit at the table instead of one now. So yeah, even better. So the last thing, I think this is the last thing I have to show you. Yep, looks like it. I'm a member of a Random Acts of Kindness group on Facebook, and we use each other's Amazon wish lists to just order stuff for people. So if I've got like a couple of quid left over after payday, then I'll just send somebody something, which is quite nice off their wish list. And my wish list seems to be filled with books, mainly craft books and different things that I can do, craft related. So somebody actually sent me a book off my wish list for making different types of bags. I love this bag. I do have a pattern for a bowling bag, but I quite like the fact that the straps go all the way under. And there are 35 different bags in here. And I guess you can just mix and match different bits of them as well, and the construction. And all the patterns are folded up in the back as well. So I have no idea who sent it, because there wasn't a like a note, a gift note with it. So yeah, thanks if it was you. What I might do is put my wish list down below. Just so you can have a nosy, really. Yeah, I want to be able to get to the point actually where I can provide a list, like a marketplace on Amazon, and I can actually link all of the stuff that I talk about, so you can see it there as well. But yeah, I need to now spend the summer, I think, making some bags. I've got plenty of fabric, as you well know, and this book is going to come in it's going to come in handy, basically, with lots of patterns to work from. So yeah, thanks if you sent it to me. Now, there's one thing I always seem to forget at the beginning of the episode, and that is that there is a Ko-fi account linked to this podcast. It's just a way of people just sending me like the cost of a cup of tea, perhaps, or a hot chocolate. What it does is it helps me to continue producing the free content that I provide, so all the different tutorials. It helps me with actually using the software a bit more as well, because it can be a bit glitchy at times, which is quite frustrating. I am now on my second different type of video editing software. I'm hoping that I will at some point be able to upgrade my laptop so it's not flickering all the time and just causing me distress. My laptop is a little bit full. I actually have The reason it's full is because I actually have the hard drive from my previous laptop on that laptop as well. So I have a whole backup of an old laptop on there, and I think it's starting to die. I do have an external hard drive, so I need to try and get my podcasts onto the external hard drive because I don't think that's helping. We're now into 18 months of videos, and I've got the vlogs on there as well, so it is time to try and move it and see if that will free up some space and allow the RAM to actually do what it's meant to do. I did speak to the guys at work though, and they said based on the age of the laptop and the fact that it still has a spinning disk drive, I don't think there's a lot I can do about it, but we shall see. At some point I'll be able to upgrade, just not as yet. So yeah, that it eventually it will go towards helping me upgrade at some point, just so I can make these a bit more entertaining and provide some more content for you as well. Being a full-time teacher, it's not easy to find the time to actually do everything I want to do, so it's nice to see that people are supporting me in this and that you are enjoying what I am putting out for you. So long may it continue. So the last thing that I need to share with you today, in terms of acquisitions anyway, is that I have decided to work on a blanket from the Simply Crochet magazine. It is a cowl, so I crochet along, and it is using, majority of the time, mosaic crochet. It is called the Magic Carpet Throw, and first part is in issue 110. So this magazine, I really like the granny square cardigan as well. That will also become a project, don't know when, but it's going to be a project. So this is the blanket. And I don't know if I showed you, but a few months ago I bought, it may have been more than that, it may have been before Christmas, I bought some yarn to make what I was going to do was just a granny square blanket. So it's just one granny square that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I bought 8 balls of yarn to work on that blanket. Obviously still haven't started it, so I'm going to put them into this instead, which meant I needed some more yarn because this requires 2 of each colour. This one's done in West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab, but I already had the Starcraft DK, so that's what I've gone and bought more of. So it requires 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 balls of yarn. You need 5 of the main colour of the cream because it goes all the way through the blanket. So can we see the cream is in the background all the way through, and then each panel is made up of different colour on top of that. So what I decided to do was I had 8 colours, so if I bought another one of each that would give me 16, which is more than enough of what I need for the blanket. However, obviously the background colour is meant to be one colour, so what I've decided to do is do 2 colours. So for all the thin stripes I'm going to use one colour, and all the thick stripes I'm going to use another colour, so that it alternates and it slightly tones it down a little bit. So for those 2 sections I'm going to use stone and camel. Now on the screen they don't look much different. If I bring them forward and maybe block out the sun a little bit. Nope, can't do it. One reminds me of caramel and one reminds me of biscuits. So those are the 2 that are going in the background. I think I bought a third of the stone colourway just so that if I need a little bit of the lighter colour, then that is what that's for. So actually this might be the bigger sections and this might be the smaller sections, so that I know I've got a bit more of that colour. So that's what those are for. Now the other colours in it, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colours. So I'm going to be using petrol, which is like a blue tealy colour, and blush, which is a really nice pink. I've then got emperor, which is purple. I'm going to run out of fingers. I have buttermilk, storm blue, and duck egg. Can I do this? Yes, I can. So those are the 6 colours. Now, obviously, the buttermilk might not show up as much in terms of when I use the stone or the camel against it. So I will decide as I go as to whether I mix a different colour with the yellow or whether I do continue with the plain in the background. So that's what I did. So I bought one of each to add to it. So I've got 2 of each colour, and then I've got quite a few that I can play around with a mixture of colours as well. So hopefully that's going to be a really nice blanket. I'm just debating when to actually start it, because should really be doing my Sophie blanket, and obviously didn't do any of it in June at all. I have worked on it in July, and we're only day 4 of July, so that is currently in my Doodle Cats bag, along with the magazine. I need to go and get part 2, which has a, what does it have with it? It's got some bumblebee stitch markers on the front as a gift. I thought I'd bought it, but I can't find it, so I'm going to go buy it again. It might just be that I haven't bought it, but I've looked everywhere that it should be or would be, or I would think it would be, even at work, and I can't find it. So I've still got time. I could go and get it today. And that brings us to the end of the podcast. There is one final thing to do. This is where I get really loud again. I may have been on a hyper last month. It was a bit high-pitched, and yeah. Oh well. Sometimes you get me on highs, sometimes you get me on lows. It all depends on the weather, it depends what's going on at work, and just generally how I'm feeling. So, yes, I have now drawn a winner for last month's giveaway for us hitting... Oh my god, how many did I hit? 250? Yes, 250 subscribers. I'm almost at 300 now. So let's keep that sub train going. I've been watching a lot of D&D recently. Critical Role through Geek and Sundry. I'm on campaign 1 and I'm only at episode 32. But I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. I know I've got a long way to go because this was filmed 5 years ago, but I don't care. I'm enjoying it, and that's what I'm putting on of an evening when I get home. So my crochet, my cross stitch is all done to D&D at the moment. So for anyone who noticed the letterboard last month, each month I'm trying to put a different phrase on it, I guess. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing when I get home. Yes, so I have drawn a winner for my 250 subscriber giveaway. You had to have included the word panda in your comment. So there were 9 comments, and the winner picked randomly through YouTube random comment picker is Ali. So Ali Woolley, I will contact you on Instagram. I've already spoken to you this morning at coffee morning, but I hadn't drawn the prize yet. So yeah, congratulations, Ali. You mentioned that you would love a project bag made by me. So I will get my thinking cap on as to what I can do. So what sort of pattern fabric I can use. Yeah, so we shall see. So I will make something up for you that is just for you. So yeah, send me over your address, Ali, and I will get that into the post to you once I have made it. Probably at this rate it will be the summer, just because we've got 2.5 weeks left of school, and yes, I am one of those teachers who is counting down the days. So 13 days to go, and then it's the summer holidays, and I am free for 6 weeks to make what I like, go where I like, well, with COVID restrictions, obviously. Anyway, that is it for this month. Plans for next month. So originally I had said I wanted to do part 6 of the Sophie's Universe for June. That didn't happen. So obviously that rolls over to July. Although, a little sneak peek of July, I've already done part 6. Did that yesterday. So part 7, here we come. if you want to keep up to date with that, it is all over on Instagram. I've put a story up, a highlight story highlight for just the Sophie's Universe. So every time I complete a part, it goes up onto a story and goes into a highlight. Same for the Samurai. So my 100-day project, there is a story highlight for that. The aim is to finish the 100 days in July because I've only got 13 left. So actually, I should be able to do that. Yeah. And then start on the next 100 to get to 200. So that will be that one. What else do I need to do? There's so much going on here. I've still got the Briar Rose to work on. I need to finish my my Secret Squirrel project. That's what I need to do. So I need to do that. I've tweaked it a little bit because my initial idea was something quite summery, particularly in the yarn that Gemma has given me to practice with. But actually it's for a winter box, so it needs to be something winter themed. So I am going to change it slightly so it matches that. So there may be, I don't know whether to release both options at the same time for the cozy box or release them separately. So you might get a 2-for-1 here. You never know. I will speak to Gemma and see what we come up with, really. So, yeah. So that is that. What else is going on? We've got 2.5 weeks left of school. And then I've got about a week and a half left of July. So I've got puzzles that I can do. Yeah, so actually, at the end of here, you'll see a film reel of puzzles that I've worked on with my dad over just June. So every weekend, I've been over at my parents' house. My son has not been in school, which means he's now spending 1 week at my parents' and 1 week with me, so that I don't have to worry about him every single day being at home on his own. But it still gives him a little bit of independence, so I know that he has to provide for himself when he's at home. But my dad can teach him how to cook when he's with them. So he's getting a bit of both, really. And that will help him in the long run, I think, too. So he's doing that. So I'm there every weekend to either drop him off or pick him up. So I'm going there today to pick him up. And every time I'm there, we do a puzzle. Or my dad started a puzzle and I finish it. Or I just start a new one and finish that. So last week we actually started and finished a puzzle. So that will be up in the reel as well. So there'll just be a little reel of all the puzzles we've worked on for June. I actually thought this episode would be quite short, but apparently not. That's the way it seems to go every month. I think, oh, I haven't got a lot to talk about, and yet I keep rabbiting on and it gets longer and longer. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to talk about. No, I did some exercise today. Maybe that's why I'm a little bit hyper. And I've had coffee morning with a lovely group of people for Knitted Natter, which is hosted by Gemma of the Midnight Diary. So if you want to join in that is now, I think she said this morning, it's going to be every weekend now, so every Sunday. So if you want to join in with that, just get in touch with Gemma over on Instagram and she can send you the details for it. And yeah, I now need to actually head over to my parents' house and pick Joey up and buy the new magazine ready for my blanket. So yes, I need to cast on. I'm going to try and hook on that blanket, I think, this month. Not that I've got anything else to do, obviously, because whips. I can see my whip board from here. Nothing's changed. It's still the same. Yeah, I'm going to try and I want to try and finish another blanket. Let's put that out there, shall we? What I want to do is I need to work on the Briar Rose. Because I've got the yarn for that now. So there's nothing really stopping me. And I do know the pattern now. So it should be pretty quick to work up. And I've condensed it. So rather than doing one big blanket, I'm doing the pattern but in smaller chunks. And then I can just seam it all together. So hopefully I'll have some more squares to show you next month if I haven't finished and put it together. Now I've said that, I'm not going to end up doing it, am I? Anyway, thank you for joining me this month. It's a little bit crazy at the end, but that's how it goes after you sit here talking for nearly an hour. So Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next month. Let's get that sub train up to 300, shall we? You never know, there might be a giveaway. Don't know. I did decide that my next one would be 500, but I might feel quite generous. So, I will. I'll see you all again next month. Take care. Bye.